You are posting on LinkedIn maybe 4, 5, maybe even 6 times a week. You're getting likes and you're getting comments. And people are saying, great post, awesome value, great stuff. But your calendar itself still looks empty and your DMs is also nothing in there. And I guess that would make you wonder, like, what am I doing wrong in this case? But the truth that nobody's telling you is that it's not your content that's the issue, but it's the backend conversion mechanism and the system behind it that's not converting any of the attention you have. So I've worked with over 95 B2B businesses and creators for the past 7 years, and they're not doing anything differently than you are on their content. But what they are doing differently is what type of content they post and what the system behind that content is, right? They have a content system and conversion system that converts their audience on a rhythm. So in this video, I'm going to just show you and reveal the curtains on how, for example, for Tim Keen, we've booked 110 sales calls in 1 month alone, and I'll give you that system so you can take it. This is also how we help Melissa go from great post and big audience with low conversion to also booking 15 calls in her first week and now being able to transition out of a corporate role and now into a creator and a B2B business role. And by the end, you'll have a plug and play system that you can use to build the system yourself. What I'll first go over is the content trap. So probably the problems you are facing right now within your business. Then we'll go over the weekly content rhythm. So I'll show you exactly what works at the moment, also with the new LinkedIn algorithm that got introduced in 2026. I'll also go over the backend system that will make this actually convert for you so your content becomes way more valuable. Then I'll go over the biggest mistakes I see people make, and you're probably doing all of them. I'll show you some real results from our clients. And at the last bit, I have the content multiplication system that we use to turn one piece of content into multiple ones and multiple conversion assets as well. So at the moment, probably you are getting likes, you're getting comments, but there's an empty calendar. And I hear this every single week on every call I have. And you don't have a content problem. It's just the system you have that you plug your content into. So I'll walk you through exactly how we turned Tim Keen's content into 110 sales calls through LinkedIn in a single month. He has about 60,000 followers. And as well as that, how Melissa went from great post to 15 qualified calls in 3 weeks. And we also have examples of clients that we've worked with only 1,600 that have gotten similar results as they have. So follower count doesn't matter. So a couple questions to go over is how many sales calls did you book from those posts? And how many posts did you publish last week, right? Because if the answer is 0 on both of them, or maybe 1, because you're lucky and you got 1 inbound, then you're kind of stuck in the content hamster wheel, which is where you're doing all this stuff, you're posting all this content, you're trying to get people to engage, like, comment, build this network, and trying to build awareness and attention, but you're not actually going anywhere. Because at the end of the day, you have a business to run. You want to run a business, and you're treating LinkedIn like Instagram, like you're potentially like your personal Instagram, where you're just posting for engagement, like posting for likes, views, all that stuff. But most of the times that doesn't matter, because if you have the right system on the back end, you can succeed with 1,600 followers. Now, for example, here Marco, he's a great example. He only had 4,000 followers and still got massive engagement on a post like this, which solved the engagement and attention problem. And then as well, he got 100,000 pipeline value in 3 weeks on the back of the content we built. So it's both. You need both. So the predictable pipeline system, how that works is the content multiplication framework, where we have 4 very specific post types, and each one has a specific job to do. So think of it as a restaurant menu, right? Where you don't just serve dessert all day, because then everybody will just be sick of all the sugar. They also want appetizers, main courses, sides, and then they want dessert. They want the whole package. And then each one of those moves the customer closer to saying yes, closer to that buying point. And your content works exactly the same way. So one of those post types is the value post, where you give without asking. You prove your value, you prove your authority. It's educational, tactical, immediately useful, like a lesson. For example, Farhan posted a breakdown on how to write LinkedIn DMs. Very relevant. It wasn't no pitch. It was just like pure value, just a framework, and you could use it right away. And that post actually got 280 comments, which is 280 leads in his case. A value post is not designed to book calls directly, but it's designed to make people think Farhan knows his shit, right? He knows how to book calls from the DMs. He knows how a DM framework works. And I should pay attention to him, right? And you want to post these 2 to 3 times a week because they're your foundation. Especially if you're just starting out with this, you have to just prove your worth. And you can do that by providing a post like this, where you'll give all these lessons away for free in exchange for a comment so you know who to send it to. Now, the second post type is an authority post where you show specific proof. So case studies, client results, your own results. You want to weave that into your content in general as well. But this specific post type is very targeted on conversion and building that trust. So Jason Tang posted about how he closed a 20K partnership deal in 12 days using our system. And we just showed the exact timeline. So in day 7, funnel was live. And day 9, 11 calls booked. And day 12, deals closed. And that's a massively authoritative post that it's just not bragging, but just like showing what is being possible on a platform like LinkedIn. And that proof is what turns curiosity into like, I need to talk to this person. So when you're just giving value, 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 that's nice. But what do I achieve with that value, right? What do I get out of it? And that's the authority. So you want one of these a week minimum to share your actual proof. Then the third post type is a lead magnet post. This is where you capture intent. So you, in the beginning, first 2 posts, you generate it, and then you have lead magnet post, which captures it. Very targeted, very specific. And this offers something valuable in exchange for a comment or a DM. So it's a free tool, template, training, checklist, like Farhan also did, right? He did a value post and a lead magnet post in one. So you can kind of weave them together as well. So Melissa, for example, she posted a lead magnet on optimizing your LinkedIn profile using AI. It got almost 500 comments and we captured almost 200 email addresses for her. She booked 15 calls of one post. And the post type itself, not super different. It's more the way you structure that post, right? What do you ask at the end? And that's what happens when you give something away that people actually want to have. And then you have a system on the back end to capture and convert those leads. And if you want to post one of these every week, you will then also train your audience to expect it. So you actually want to do this more systematically because then people are actually expecting more value of you every single time, and they build like this bond of you providing them with help. The fourth post type is the offer post, and this is where you actually make an ask. So you just tell people exactly how to work with you. That's it. So Marco posted about his AI compliance scan for governments, and he just said, if you're worried about the EU Act fines, come and scan and I'll send you a free 10-minute risk assessment. So this is very tactical, right? I'll take a look inside your business and see if you have a potential risk for the AI fine, right? He got a 100K pipeline on the back of this post, which is a pure ask. And these are the post types you don't need to do really every week. Once or twice a month is enough. But when you do them, you can just be direct and just tell people exactly what to do next. Because that's the 3% rule. Hear me talk about this a lot. It is the 3% rule, which is the 3% of your audience is ready to buy or talk to you. The other 97% of people, not yet, but you are targeting them, the 97%, with all this other content format, right? You can warm them up. Awesome. So now that you've nailed that, this is the exact weekly content rhythm that works and we use for our clients. So on Monday, you want to post a value post, which is the tip, framework, mindset shift. And then on Tuesday, you want to have a value post, if you can. You ideally want to post at least 4 times a week. If that's not possible for you, then do 3 posts a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But I'd recommend posting every day, ideally also weekends, if you have a content system like that set up, so you also do Saturday, Sunday. But then on Wednesday, you have an authority post, so which is proof, client win, own results, anything you've achieved for anyone, ideally, so not for yourself. And then on Thursday, you want to do another value post. On Friday, you'll do a lead magnet post. Most of the times you want to post these in as close as possible to the weekend as you can, because most people consume these lead magnets and more like bits of value over the weekend when they have some spare time. And specifically if you have like a more dialed in target audience, like a entrepreneur or a CEO, they will have their free time in the weekends to consume new knowledge, and during the week they're more stuck in operational stuff. So it kind of depends on, right, when your target audience is online. Keep that in mind as well. and check out this other video I have on my YouTube channel on how to dial in your ICP better, because we use some very advanced tactics on specific words your clients use and use a client language bank to define who to target. So once or twice a month as well, you want to do an offer post, which is where you replace one of your value posts with a direct offer. You just target them directly and tell them how they can work with you. What you can do as well as an extension of this, and I might create a different video on this in the future, so let me know in the comments if you want me to create a video on this as well, is an offer campaign. So an offer campaign is a specific sequence of posts, so every line is a post here, that you post for about 5 to 7 days. And you just sell. So for 5 to 7 days, you just sell. And everything before that kind of leads up to this point. So I'm trying to draw a funnel here where every single bit of content you created in the past is like a warm-up mechanism for this one moment. These are all posts, and these are all selling posts. Sell. You can even do a smaller discount or a urgency and a deadline as well. So you craft a specific offer for a specific time and you just post. So you can step it up a notch, right? So it's not complicated, but the consistency itself is important. And why this works is because you're creating a trust ladder. So the trust ladder has about 4 steps, where in step 1, your post builds awareness and trust, and people are starting to recognize your name. For example, Steve Koenen, a Belgium client we worked with in the past, he only posted like 2 or 3 of those authority posts, and immediately he was the sales name in Belgium. He provided B2B sales coaching and training in the field, so field training, and he's still getting inbound leads. He's still cold calling people, and he's not really posting consistently anymore. He just thought, awesome, thank you. I have all this name in this space. I am the sales name in Belgium. So rock and roll, keep that going. Like, we don't really need to post anymore. But then if you want to take it up a notch, your authority will actually start building credibility as well. So now people will start to think, this guy gets results, right? In the beginning, they just know you, then they recognize you for your value. And then if you post more lead magnet posts and value drops, you will also capture intent, and people will start to raise their hand and say, I want more of this, I want more of this, which essentially in their brain also trains them. So it trains them to go to you if they need something, right? So you might know the bakery nearby your house. They also give out like these smaller buns, like bread buns. I'm not sure what they're called, like rolls, bread rolls or something. They just give them out to kids if you come out there with your kid. You go with your kid, come and get your bread, and then they give this little piece of bread to the kid. And the next time your kid says, Mom, I want to go to the bakery again. Right? So it's like a way to give them value and then let them have a taste of what you do as well. So step 4 is that your offer post will then convert direct intent into conversations and people actually book calls. This can happen way in step 1 already. Just depends on how proven your offer is and how established you are in your space. But these are the steps you want to go to easily be able to make an ask here in step 4. So each post moves people up onto the ladder. And by using it in this way, you're also not chasing anyone. Like, you're just not begging for the calls, but you're just creating a system where people come to you because they've already been warmed up by your content, right? If you go to the gym and every single day you go there, you see the same guy, every day. At some point, you're going to say hi. You're going to say, hi, how are you doing? How's it been? What are you training today? Or where do you live? Blah, blah, blah. And that's just because you see him every single day, right? Maybe you walk the same path from home to school. And there's another person that does the same exact path every single day. At some point, you're just going to talk to them naturally. And that's what we want to imitate on LinkedIn as well, and then make this ask at step 4. So the backend system behind this, that's actually the most important part as well, is where most people drop the ball, where they just kind of post, get comments, and then do nothing, because they don't have the system to capture and convert those leads. So a good example is Farhan. This post is in Dutch, but it's a post on a lead magnet where he is giving away LinkedIn scans of your LinkedIn profile. It got 1,400 comments and about 150 likes. But if he didn't have a system to automatically like send those people and the resource and then capture the email and tag them in a CRM and lead score them, right? Who has the highest intent, who has requested the most lead magnets, for example, who has liked the most posts in the past. That's all interesting information to know. So we built him a system where once a user comments, it automatically detects a specific keyword in the automation. I know LinkedIn is against automations, but this is a safe way. It will then automatically DM that specific lead with a link to that lead magnet where they can access it. It has a link to a landing page, so an opt-in page, where the user lands on a simple page. They can enter in their email to request a resource. Then our CRM tagging will then go through that lead's history on LinkedIn, as well as just the history in the CRM, and automatically tag that lead based on the post they interacted with. So if it's a post on your LinkedIn profile, we'll know that that specific person has interest on improving their LinkedIn profile. If it's a post on how to sell better, in the example of Stave, then, or how to prospect, for example, which is a segment of how to sell, how to prospect, which is smaller, then we'll know that that person is interested in that pain point. So then we'll have a 48-hour follow-up, which is a human touch. It's a manual personalized DM or an email is sent a couple hours later. And then if they're qualified, they get invited to book a call. You can make this as big as you want. What we do most of the times on the back end of this, which I might create a separate video on that, is that we create a 30 email evergreen nurture flow. So it's about 30 emails over the span of 3 months that just loops over and over, giving more value, giving more value, giving more value, and pushing that person up to a higher lead score until they book in. So you can do some more advanced stuff, but this is basically already how you can book calls from your LinkedIn content. And that's also why Farhan closed 34K in 2 weeks on the back of that LinkedIn post. So it's not the content, it's just both. You need to have the system as well. The biggest mistakes I've seen people, clients on calls make is that they are posting without a goal. But every single post should have a job. And if you have a post that is not building trust, showing proof, capturing leads, or making an offer, that's like, where are you going with your content? Like, just collecting likes or what? Just you like to create content. Ideally, you want to get something out of it as well. And getting out of it doesn't mean like you get revenue out of it, but also just building trust with your audience. Maybe you want to get your audience to get something out of it. You want to provide, you want to help them, you want to distribute, right? Also interesting. But if you don't know what you want to share or what the job is of the post, then your audience also doesn't know. It's like they don't know what you're meaning with the post. But if you're only posting value, also big mistake. Like I said, it's nice to share and give people stuff. At the end of the day, you're also running a business, and if you never ask for the sale, you'll never make the sale either. And you want to make sure that that's in balance. So you want to give, and then make a small ask. Give, make a small ask. And ideally in that cadence. The flip side, if you're only making offers, nobody will listen to you anyway, because you're just asking, and then who's this guy, right? Same as asking someone to marry on the first date. You don't do that either. So you have to earn the right to make the ask, and you do that by providing the value here. This is a combination, needs to be in balance. Mistake number 4 is that you don't have lead capture in place, because just likes and comments, like I said with Farhan's case, 1400 comments, they don't pay the bills. Email addresses and book calls, they do at the end of the day. Like, that's a way to directly reach out to someone. And if you're not capturing those leads, you're leaving money on the table. Big mistake. Then mistake number 5 is not being consistent. So just posting 5 times a week and then not anymore, that doesn't work, because then nobody will remember you. So if you remember the example I gave to you with the guy you see at the gym every single day, if you just stop going, at some point you also lose contact with him. Same thing here. If you stop posting, people will lose contact with you, and the trust that you've built will not just stay there, but it will just decrease slowly. It will just decrease more and more and more slowly over time until it's 0 again and people have forgotten about you. So you need to be consistent and post every single day ideally, or just a set cadence throughout the week. Doesn't need to be every single day. Just keep posting so people keep being remembered of you. So how you can implement this week is to audit your last 10 posts. It's a good starting point. We just go back and look at what you've been posting, how many were value posts, authority, just segment them. It's mostly random, or you haven't even thought about this in the past. Maybe you kind of do some values, but maybe no offers. That's okay, but now you know. If you know what your problem is, you're already 50% there. That's it. And then you can just find a solution. But you don't know what you're looking for, you also will never find a solution. So then we're going to find a solution, right? We're going to plan something out, which is planning out your next 4 weeks. So you open a spreadsheet, Notion doc, whatever, float your boat, and then you map out your next 16 posts. So 4 per week for 4 weeks. Ideally, that's a good cadence. You can use this framework. So value, authority, value, lead magnet. And then in week 3, you replace the authority with an offer. So value, offer, value, lead magnet. That's just your structure. That's the simplest content calendar you need. Just rock and roll that. And then you'll figure out variations over time. Now that we have lead magnets here as well, 4, you want to create one lead magnet. So this is your capture mechanism. It can be ChatGPT prompt or a Canva template or a 10-minute training video. Just make it solve one specific problem your ideal client has right now. And the way I like to look at it is that you have a starting point and you have an end point. And your service will be here in the middle for your clients, whatever your service is. In the case of Stave, it's helping B2B businesses sell on the field. So he helps them with field training. In the case of Farhan, it's more like positioning and strategy on LinkedIn, consulting. In our case, it's building these content and revenue systems for LinkedIn specifically, so you can sell on autopilot. So I can chunk that up in just being content, just being email marketing, just being CRM, just being landing page setup, just being hooks, just being visuals, just being lead magnets. You can see all these different segments. And every single thing I just mentioned is one individual lead magnet or part of your service that you can give away. So then the customer journey is not like this, but your customer journey is like this, and they can still reach the end goal. So it's about segmenting what you do and then creating individual pieces of value for those smaller things. Super easy. You probably have a lot of this stuff laying around already because you need also some resources to provide your service, right? So what you then want to do in step 4 is set up a basic capture system. You need a landing page where people can just opt in for your lead magnet. You can use loads of different softwares. We have built our own software, but a couple other ones are Beehive, Tally, Card. Doesn't really matter what you want to use. And then connect it to a CRM as well. If you can do that, if it's too technical, don't worry about it. Just start collecting. You don't need to like set up everything from the start. Just start simple and ultimately just start with this. That's it. What you then want to do is repeat this for 30 days, post. And if you do it for 30 days, you will see booked calls and more than you've seen in the last 6 months, guaranteed. The real results of some people we've worked with, for example, Tim Keen, booked 110 sales calls in a single month and closed 27.5K on day 1. He built a pipeline worth of 300K in 3 months and he collected 2,500 leads in 90 days. This is basically what we did for him, also the timeline wise, where at his peak, he booked 14 qualified calls in 1 day and had to bring on a closer as well. Super interesting case study. Then we have Steve Koenen, who I just talked about. Actually, it's 18 appointments in 10 days and 6 new clients closed, which is a 4x on his investment. Awesome stuff. 4x ROI. He never really thought this was possible. It's absolutely the fastest lead gen machine. Exactly. Massive. Thomas Slats, 10,000 followers. 1 lead magnet post was 17 sales calls per week. He built a 1,000 person email list in 1 month without any ad spend. And he was growing about 1,000 followers a week. We scaled him from 7,000 to now 12,000 followers actually. And then we have Christoph, who only has 2,700 followers. He's a LinkedIn DM sales expert. And he closed 8K in the first week from 1 post. Nico Jacobs as well, 1,600 followers only, closed 8K in 4 weeks. 150 leads captured. And that's just what happens when you have a system like this. Their follower sizes as well is that they range from 1,600 to 60,000. So it works regardless of audience size. You don't need all the followers. You just need the right system on the back end. And here's some other examples: Jason, Toby, Marco, Pratik, Shamatik. The content multiplication effect, what will happen if you keep doing this, is that when you post consistently, your first value post, second value post, third, fourth, you'll see that your content starts to compound. Because the value post, they will build trust. And then the authority post build credibility, which boosts each other ultimately. And then your lead magnets, they capture the intent. So they make sure you can see it, right? While the offer posts, they convert. So in week 1 to 3, every week from that point on, you're adding more people to your system, more people to your email list, more people to your CRM, more people who know, like, and trust you, and also will be sharing your content, right? That's all these people here, the first layer. And then from week 4, you're not just reaching them all, but you're reaching everyone who's been following you for the past month, right? You're reaching these people again because they are now part of your network, warming them up, right? So now you have these people, and these here are the warmest at the moment, right? They've seen the most content of you. They've seen content from you for the last 3 weeks already, plus 1 is 4. These have only seen content for the last 1 week. Then from week 8, you've got 2 months worth of trust built up, and by week 12, you've got a pipeline full of warm leads who are ready to buy, because all these people have now consumed your content for a long period of time now, and they want to talk to you because you've proven your worth. And that's the multiplication effect. And that's also why consistency matters so much, and why most people won't do this, because most people watching a video like this, they won't implement any of this. You just, oh yeah, cool story, yeah, that makes sense, yeah, cool. And maybe even you screenshot some stuff like this thing I did with the calendar here, where you plan your next couple of weeks. Maybe you screenshot that and think like, oh yeah, I'll start on that tomorrow or this weekend, right? But you won't actually do it because it requires discipline and doing it. It requires showing up every week where you don't want to, right? It requires planning ahead. And most people just rather stay comfortable than committing to a system or wanting to be visible like this. But if you're still watching, you're probably not like most of those people. You're probably someone who's serious about building a real business, and the business doesn't depend on luck or random viral post, but a business that has a predictable system, that has a solution for turning content into conversations and then conversations into those clients. And if you want to be one of those 3% who are actually going to implement this, yeah, are you? Or are you just going to stay stuck and not implement it? So your implementation checklist that you get from me now, that you have to get started with, is auditing your last 10 posts. Check. You map your next 16 posts, right? You get your schedule. Check. You build one lead magnet. Check. You set up your capture page. Check. Post for 30 days. Check. If you check all that off, get started with the simple tech setup, you can get all this done. This probably takes 1 hour. Lead magnet maybe takes 1 hour itself, and then this takes 1 hour, and the rest is all set. You can probably do this in, this maybe takes 30 minutes even, this doesn't take 1 hour. So I was about to say 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, maybe 15 minutes a day of just posting it, and then maybe engaging a bit. And then this is maybe 1 hour with all these tools available, super easy. So you can do this just in 1 day. In 1 day it's done. And then you have your whole content for the next month. The goal is to start and just refine the tech as stuff comes in, and just do one iteration of this. But if you do get stuck on trying to set this up, we offer the predictable revenue system where we install this whole thing plus more in 7 days. And then our 30-day guarantee is that we book 8 to 12 qualified calls in the first month, same as we've done for all these people, and as well as this whole list and all the people I shared with you in this video. There you have it, the complete system on how you can book calls from your LinkedIn content. 4 posts, 1 schedule, and also 1 simple backend system that you know will convert. Now, like I said, could you build this by yourself? You probably could. And if you followed everything I showed you in this video and used the other videos on my YouTube channel, you could probably get this online in about 7 days. But most people, they get stuck on the tech setup itself. Diving into that for a period of time just takes time until you figure it out. So you can spend 3 months trying to figure it out and trying to set this up, or you can spend 3 months trying to book calls already because your system is online. And that's exactly why we built the predictable revenue system, where we will install the entire backend system for you. So the funnel, CRM, landing pages, will create all the LinkedIn content for you, all the visuals, all the lead magnets inside your own AI Funnel OS account, where you can see all these leads and just reach out to the warm ones if they haven't booked in already yet. So we guarantee also 8 to 12 qualified call bookings in the first 30 days of the system being live, or we will just work with you for free until we have achieved that number. So if you want to see how this would work inside your business specifically, then just click the link in the description where you can book a funnel audit with me personally, where I will go over your current setup and show you where you're leaking leads at the moment, and if a system like this is even a viable option for a business like yourself. The link is in the description, and I'll chat to you soon.